I ain't tryna bring you down, but for real, you might as well give up now. Think you got a chance, but I don't see how. Got a real tight grip when I hold that crown. My life been good and bad and all around. The more things I lost, the more I found. One thing I taught myself to do, no matter the problem, refuse to lose. So, how you want it, man? You can choose. If you can't take the heat, don't light the fuse. See, I walk in slow and ignite the room. Like fire, everything I touch, I consume. I'm getting up while y'all just snooze. While you make breakfast, man, I'm on the move. I'm the first one in and the last one out. Whoever owns the place gotta drag me out. In me I trust, yeah, I smell like success, this Elon Musk, huh? Everybody wanna be like us, we don't stop, cause the top just ain't enough, huh? I ain't never gay, no, I ain't scamming, you know black men don't blush, huh? Came here ready to fight on this night, you better just run for your life. Won't you come and see what it's like, living by the rules that you write. You ain't know those lavish delights, now you ain't no back in sight. All the little lies you recite, just makes all the savage unite. Usually I'm very polite, but I'ma get savage tonight. Even when a dog being nice, every single dog gonna bite. You might think I'm wrong, but I'm right. Just let it get a strong appetite. I'ma let it breathe just a little, give it to you strong, heavy metal. I don't make a sound when I strike. You better just run for your life. Run for your life.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ward Radio live stream. I am your host, Cardinellis. Today I'm joined in the studio by none other than Brittany the Shadow, as well as via Zoom by Brad Whitbeck, Apostle 2025, and none other than Jonah Barnes, the Associate Professor of All Things Apocryphal. What's going on? Oh, I think you're muted, my man. I think you're muted, Brad. Did I mute you? No. What did I do wrong? Wait, is that what I did wrong?
Am I muted on your end?
He's just a man of few words.
You know what? I had you. I had you.
I'll be doing sign language this whole live stream.
He'll be signing it for
I'm
our
a little
deaf,
sick and my voice is down.
Dude,
the deaf members of our congregation.
It's funny you mentioned that. I found out today that David O. McKay was the first prophet that actually commissioned the Braille version of the Book of Mormon. So I guess
cool.
we didn't have one until
that's awesome.
Yeah, David O. McKay's time. So anyway, what now, Jonah?
Like come up with those facts. Like, yeah, you know who authorized the first Braille? David O. McKay. Like, how did you have that in your brain?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think I was actually watching. Oh no, I know what it was. It was David Snell on. I don't think it was Faith and Beliefs. It was on a Saints Unscripted video about David O. McKay, and apparently all the struggles that he had. Holy smoke. This is not the topic of today's live stream, David O. McKay and his myriad struggles, right? However, it was a really compelling video. I'll have to dig it up and I'll have to put a link in the description once we finish here. But anyway, yeah.
David Snell.
Yeah, baby. So what did this week is absolutely nuts. before we dive right in, you know what I'm saying? How's your guys' week been? Pretty good. We're letting everybody come into the chat. We're just, going to be saying how things have been. This has been an eventful week in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. What's your guys' take on the insanity of this week? Jonah, you go
Brad,
first.
what do you think? Me? Okay, well.
I mean, I've slept through most of it. I've been sick and not able to sleep at night. So I'm like waking up in the day and just falling asleep. And
That's
been rough.
funny. Well, you've been putting all some really good stuff.
That and the newborn.
Yeah.
Rough.
Rock on. Jonah, what do you think, man? It's been a crazy week, dog. We got all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, we had some crazy stuff dusting up in the Discord. We had some progmos in our Discord. Hey.
Oh.
Progmos are welcome. Progmos are welcome. We love all Mos except all current Mos. Ex-Mos, well,
it's the anti-Mos.
all right.
It's
We
the
love
anti-Mos.
Exmos too.
we love Exmos too. Progmos, he was a little nervous. He was taking on a lot of people all at once, but we're glad to have Progmos in our Discord too. Lots of people in our Discord. It's a vibrant community. Come join us. But we had some discussions about the Relief Society birthday that happened just this past week.
I was going to say, let's just dive right in, man, because this whole comment gate, by the way, has that taken off yet? I've really tried to coin the term comment gate, Is it called comment gate yet now? Do you think that's taken off or no?
Is this like in Mean Girls when they're like, stop trying to make fetch a thing? It's not going to be
I'm
a
afraid
thing.
it might be. I'm afraid it might be.
It might be.
And I might just be failing.
I don't know that I've seen it anywhere else.
Okay, dang it. All right, shoot. We got a couple of chats here we're going to catch up on as we're letting everybody come into the chat. Please make sure you like the stream as you come to the chat. Also, give us a comment. If you guys have something that you want to say that is indeed germane to the conversation, please leave us a super chat, and we'll do our best to read them. Brittany is the keepress of the chats here, and she'll be showing those off. By the way, I see as you flipped your phone around, it looks like we already have a couple of super chats. You know what I'm saying? So why don't you read those super chats? It looks like Ashton Jade has given her very first super chat. Thank you very much, Ashton. Hit us.
She says, I'm relatively new around here. I apologize if this has already been discussed, but can we talk about the fact that Cardin Ellis and Dan Levy are practically twins? Be still my heart. Okay, back off, Ashton. Back off. Just kidding.
I've never
actually.
I've never gotten Dan Levy, but what do you guys think?
You need the big thick. If you had the thick framed glasses, I could see it.
I don't see it.
You don't
But
see
With the glasses and a little bit of Miracle Grow on your eyebrows, I could see it.
Okay, so I'm actually going to put this up on the screen. Fortunately, he's been featured recently on GQ.
I mean, I love him. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's the
He is so
He's
funny.
on Schitt's Creek.
Yes, I was about going to say, how do we make it so the algorithms
Oh,
don't flag
sorry.
us? You know what I'm saying? He is on SCHITTS's Creek. Not Dawson's Creek, but Schitt's Creek. So anyway, he's quite a hilarious
Dawson's
individual.
Creek.
I would say probably one of my top 10 comedians of all time here. I do believe, is Dan Levy. I'll take it. Or is it
Did you
Levy
know-
or Levy?
Oh, I've always said Levy, but I don't know.
I've heard both. And I can't remember out of his mind. By the way, you know who his dad is? Dad is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you. Some people don't even realize that they're their father
What's
and son.
his name?
What's his dad's name again? Hilarious guy. Do you remember his name, Brad? You're an actor. I should know this, being an LA guy. I should
don't
totally
remember
know
it.
this.
No.
Oh, was he the guy in the American
Dan
Pie
Levy's
movies?
dad?
Yeah, Dan Levy's dad. Eugene
It's
Levy.
Eugene Levy.
That's
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, dude. Here's another picture right here. I'm gonna put this up.
See,
In
this is where the
Discord.
eyebrows get real.
Yeah,
Eugene Levy.
this is some serious eyebrowage, but it's cool, man. It's cool. So anyway, there's a father and son combo
Did you
right there.
know-
Both hilarious.
Part
Yeah.
in little pop culture. Did you
Yeah.
know that he was supposed to be Ken in the Barbie movie?
Really,
Yeah.
Eugene Levy?
No, not Eugene. No.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see. It's not Eugene, huh?
Yeah.
Really? Why
I
did
can't
he say?
remember if he turned it down or if he already had like a contract with another thing. I don't know, but they wanted him at first, but then it went to Ryan Gosling.
Whoa! So Dan Levy was going to be talking patriarchy and horses.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Wow, it's almost hard to imagine it not being Ryan Gosling now. But sometimes those facts are super interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Want me to get back to these comments?
Yeah, we got another super chat. Hit us with all the super chats, babe.
Jacob Mayberry says, have you guys reconciled with Saints Unscripted yet?
Sure. We've had some combos. You know what I'm saying? It seems like both of us got swept up into whatever the next week's controversy was and so on and so forth. But I'm always open to talk to anybody. So I guess the short answer is yes.
Okay,
the
ready?
long answer, I don't know what the long answer is. So move on to the next super chat.
All right. Alpha Kenny Body says, what are Eskimo LDS members called? Eskimo-mos? That's my favorite comment so far.
All right,
Well done. Well done.
Just
That was excellent.
Jonah, was that you? Are you Alpha Kenny Body?
No, that was great. Don't steal the glory from Alpha Kenny Bob. That was an excellent joke. It was a great joke.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. You're welcome to hang out in the chat anytime, Alpha Kenny Body. Keep those coming. By the way, I have seen so much content where people just say jokes to each other and like try and not make themselves break. You know, I want to do that on Ward Radio with LDS jokes. Like, I want to literally just have the best LDS jokes possible and just have me and Kwaku and Brad just sitting there with like a bucket of water, and we have to say the jokes to each other. And the first one that like breaks has to like get ice bucket challenged or something like that.
No, every time they tell a joke,
I hate that.
Every time they tell a joke, you have to be sipping milk.
Oh,
You have to be like
milk stripping,
like ginger, like sipping milk as they tell their joke.
That's funny.
I think that's the idea.
Okay,
Carden,
awesome.
of course, you take it straight to milk strippings.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm brain damaged, bro. I'm brain damaged. All right, it's
Pathological.
They got me. It's TBI. It's TBI. It's Mormon TBI. So, all right, next super chat.
All
Babe.
right. Diamond Dave says, after being inactive, I went to my FHE Monday, Institute Tuesday, my roommate's Institute yesterday, and here today. Going all in on church. Besides, I can't excommunicate the libs if I'm not actually in church. LOL.
Oh.
Whoa, Diamond Dave, pump the brakes, dude. You're going a little too crazy.
I'm
Going a little too crazy here.
Yeah, we going all in on church besides getting spiritualism. I'm not actually in church. Oh, that's too funny. But it really does need to be considered as a temple recommend question at this point. So, no, I'm just kidding.
And then Sherry Walford just sent a super chat, so thank you.
Oh, a super chat from Sherry Rolford.
Yeah,
huh?
I don't see a comment, but maybe it'll come into the chat later.
Okay, Sherry, if you meant to say something, hey, just write it out down there as well. And yeah, we'll get to it. So anyway, okay, we got the very, very first wave of super chats done with. Thank you very much for everybody who has contributed. And please keep contributing. That's what keeps the lights on here at Ward Radio. I'm trying to think which one of you guys can explain to us this week's controversy for everybody that's just tuning in. Because if I do it, it might have a little bit more salt and pepper behind it. So I'm just trying to think.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Carden?
I'm just,
What do you
as
mean?
I'm loading a lot of these clips and these memes and these comments from people about this comment gate and the walkout of the Relief Society, I swear, if you don't talk about them and you don't throw a party for them, they call you sexist. If you throw a party for them, then they walk out of it and they call you sexist. Like, if there's any more proof that the enemies of the church and the people that hate us are insatiable woke scolds, rabid fake feminists who are never, ever, ever satisfied, this week is proof. I broke my own rule. I meant for you guys to say what was going on.
That was
was
that with salt and pepper or without salt and pepper?
Which one was that? Was that the bland version?
That was not Tapatio. I mean, that was not Tabasco. That was Tapatio.
Ah.
Okay, you know what I'm saying. So anyway, Brad, you're the most charitable among us. You're Canadian. What happened this week?
So I think what happened is there were a lot of people who seemed to have angrily reacted to a partial quote that they saw, right? Out of the Relief Society celebration, you had a quote that came up. Is it in the Discord? Can you pull it up? Because
you sent me texts. Do you want me to put the text in Discord so I can pull it up?
Is it?
Are you talking about the original
Facebook
Instagram post?
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Yes.
or the Instagram post, same
Okay, I
thing
just
on
threw it in the
Facebook or
Discord.
Insta.
You threw in the Discord. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
putting it up in the Discord. Awesome. Okay, I am pulling it up right now. Okay, for those of you guys that saw my video earlier today, this was the subject of Comment Gate. And we're talking about the exact same picture of all the ladies in the dress, right? The painting?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So here it is on the screen. Take it away, Brad.
Okay, so you have this quote here that I feel like what I saw was people responding to just this. There is no other religious organization in the world that I know of that has so broadly given power and authority to women, right? Just that. I saw a lot of people responding to just that segment, saying things like, well, Methodists or some Lutherans even make priestesses and give the priesthood authority to women. So this is patently false, right? Like I saw a lot of people responding in ways like that. When if you continue reading the quote, it says, there are religions that ordain some women to positions such as priests and pastors, but very few relative to the number of women in their congregations receive that authority that their church gives them. By contrast, all women 18 years and older in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who choose a covenant relationship with God in the house of the Lord are endowed with priesthood power directly from God. And as we serve in whatever calling or assignment, including ministering assignments, we are given priesthood authority to carry out those responsibilities. My dear sisters, you belong to a church which offers all its women priesthood power and authority from God.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Now, I feel like I don't know how you can read that and then be angry at it, especially like when I am looking at this from the position of like, hey, this is a woman saying this. She's sharing her experience. She's sharing what she thinks, right? Like she even gives that I know of, right? And so clearly she's talking from her understanding. And so I was really surprised to see no one really trying to engage with what she was saying. I mean, there was an impressive number of women who were like really standing up for what she said and being like, yeah, this is awesome. But there was such a loud contingent of people just getting vitriolic over that first thing that was said that it was, I don't know, it was surprising to me because I feel like, hey, this was about the Relief Society, which is a massive women's organization. That's a huge deal for the church. So why attack this? Why attack this quote talking about the priesthood power and authority that happens in the temple?
Okay.
I know why. I know why they attack it. Pick me. I know why.
Just kidding. You can go, Jonah.
Oh, now
I know why they attack it.
Why?
Because it's true. That's why they attack it. You don't send someone to the Chateau d'If because they're guilty. You send them to the Chateau d'If because they're innocent. The reason they hate this quote is because it's true. Because the Church of Jesus Christ gives more power and authority to women more broadly than any other religious organization, any other organization.
They run the show. They run the freaking show, dude.
All right, Tapatio.
Like, seriously, man. Like,
okay, here's my opinion on the whole
go
thing.
to any ward in the North American church, all right? And who are people more afraid of? The Relief Society president or their bishop?
Okay, stop.
Brittany, what do you
Brad's
know,
like
Brittany?
out.
Come
He's
on,
like,
what do you
I'm out.
know
I know,
about
right?
this?
I'm just a
Please.
woman. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Hit it, babe.
this is what I think.
Uh-huh.
I think some women did not read the whole caption, the quote, right? And they just saw it for what it is, and they started feverishly writing all of their feminist rage into the comments. More women come in, they see those feminist rage, they hop on. They probably didn't even read the caption, to be honest. They probably they all collectively just, they probably didn't even watch the broadcast, most of these people that are commenting.
Are you suggesting that most ex-Mormon anti-Mormonism online is a social contagion?
I'm just saying, I've been on social media long enough to know some people don't read, and it's as simple as that.
Don't read. Yeah, it's true.
Like, it's just
true.
really
I was
simple.
surprised you didn't say some people can't read.
Yes, maybe that's
I mean,
true,
I
too.
make that joke all the time because I can
Yeah.
only listen to audiobooks.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. So were there any comments that stuck out to you? I saw a bunch of comments you put in the Discord, and I got some of them pulled up. Were there any that specifically stuck out to you, Brad, Jonah, Brittany? Any of them that you thought were kind of like, what the heck?
None that come to mind. I mean, women are really angry. And now, look, maybe you have some poor leadership, right? I've been in wards where didn't really care for that bishop. I've been in other wards where I'm like, wow, that guy was really great. Now, is that a church-wide issue, or is that just an individual person? Could have been a little better, right? But you have these girls, these women in the comments saying it's a church-wide issue, and they're silenced, and they're hurting, and they're tormented. And in my experience, I was born and raised in the church. I do not have that experience. Sure, some leadership don't really love, right? I'm not going to be sending them Christmas cards, okay? Others love, okay? Love. But it's not a church issue. It's an individual issue. Now, you might have that individual experience, but that's not a church-wide umbrella issue that these women are claiming that it is.
Yeah, and then the wild thing that totally just, to me, just discredited this whole issue was they're erasing comments! They're erasing comments!
Yeah.
Did you guys live through that over the past 24 hours? Did you see that whole thing happen?
Yeah, I saw that
Yeah.
guy. Saw Comment Gate.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys
Nice,
noticed this,
Jonah.
but basically they started claiming that the church was erasing comments, that they're so heavily staffed and so misogynist and so motivated by patriarchy and horses. Okay, they're so motivated by patriarchy and horses that they were taking down comments on the Instagram feed live so that anybody that would protest the patriarchy, any wise, stunning, and brave keyboard warrior who would risk death by saying, I protest the Mormon church in an unthinkably brave act of digital stunning and bravery. You know, they said, oh, they're taking comments down in real time. I actually just pulled it up live when I was recording a video recently on it, and it was kind of funny. There was this dude named Newman who actually gets credit in this live stream saying that, oh, I posted a comment, it was taken down instantaneously. And then Julie Hanks went out there and literally said, you know, oh, this is horrible. This is tragic. These women are getting silenced, so on and so forth, until they could literally prove that hashtag Instagram not working was trending on Twitter. And there was a coding error that was keeping Coca-Cola's comments from going up, Scripture Central's comments from going up. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry on the internet was their comments just weren't going up. And literally, I said in my video earlier today, I said, we need to train members. There needs to be a fifth Sunday on critical thinking of attacks against the church. So many people have gotten so uptight about things that these raging fake feminists have said online about the church that are so untrue. We need to train members on how to just critically think sometimes, because which is more believable, that the same church that is so incapable of social media that the Young Men's General Presidency did not have until February of 2024. They had no Instagram profile. Do you really believe that the same church that didn't have a Young Men's General Presidency Instagram account is now all of a sudden so overstaffed and proficient at Instagram that they are literally erasing comments in real time? Is that the claim we're making? That in real time, these super proficient Instagrammers are now erasing comments. That is so laughably bad. And anybody saying that, to me, is just trafficking in really, really horrible misery. Because if there is an abusive husband out there, if there is an abusive organization out there that people have been trapped in and they have been actually discriminated against in like housing, access to work, access to happiness, access to health, okay, because of some blatant misogyny, That's not a coding error. What's more believable? Let's critically think. What is more believable? That the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that couldn't get young men worldwide functional until February of 2024 is all of a sudden enforcing a draconian no comment block on every single one of their comments coming from a woman from a Relief Society post meant to celebrate them? Is that what we're really believing? Or that there's simply a coding error in a platform like happens all the time?
Or what about this? What's more believable, that a comment from a rabid feminist anti-Mormon was deleted because it was horribly profane and obscene?
Yeah.
Or the church was just like, we don't want everyone to know that it's actually the handmaiden's tale in our pews. And like, of course, there were comments that were being thrown at the church. There are everywhere you look, in every Deseret News article, everywhere the church is mentioned, there's horrible vitriol being thrown at the church everywhere, on our channel too.
Yeah.
And so here's something that I find encouraging in all of this.
Yeah.
This is something that I find important in all of this conversation, because I mean, we can just say they're all angry feminists, blah, and like pretend that none of their opinions matter, right?
That's what
but
I
at the
prefer.
same time, we've got to maybe consider where some of these people are coming from and what they're actually thinking and why they're thinking what they're thinking.
Okay.
So I think there's something here that the church did that I found really cool. It's in the pinned comments. It's in the one that I sent you, Carden. I'll send it again right here, though.
In the Discord?
Just
cool.
pop it in the Discord right now.
All right, rock on. I'm waiting for it with bated breath, my friend, with bated breath. And I'm also picking up.
Come on!
Picking up these very cute non-Photoshop touched up pictures that you've also put in the Discord. All right. So
Good.
Okay.
Oh boy, it's not letting me copy the link to the post. So let me just pull that up real quick.
Man, boo. Well, I can actually respond to a couple of these things.
Do you want me to?
As well? Yeah, let's just
Yeah.
read the super chats. Read
Okay.
the super chats while you're doing that, babe.
All right. Adventures of Hephaestus and Algae. Adventures. Let's just call her Adventures. Or he. I'd like to request an episode where Don Bradley responds to Michelle Stone's most recent episode regarding Brigham Young and other leaders behind the murder of Joseph Smith. That sounds exciting.
Okay, wait. What was that? Hold on, I gotta read this. There was a lot going on all at once.
They
Okay.
want a
Really?
request to an episode where Don Bradley responds to Michelle Stone's most recent episode about Brigham Young and other leaders behind the murder of Joseph Smith.
Is she on that train now? Is she on that train? The
What was
great
that?
conspiracy train now?
Yeah. What was that documentary?
No
we
way.
went over that?
I haven't seen what she said. Was she on board, or was she?
Or is that just somebody assuming because they're kind of tribal and they
I don't know, I
just
didn't watch
assume
it.
somebody that doesn't agree with them? You know, I'll tell you right now, to Michelle Stone's credit, she has agreed to do a debate with either Hannah Stoddard or Jacob Hansen. And Jacob Hansen has agreed to debate back. So we are actually coordinating a debate on this show about a lot of this, you know, I guess Kwaku calls it pneumo. You know what I'm saying? Because we love mo at the end of progmo, exmo, pneumo. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's pneumo or whether it's polygamy denial, whatever you want to call it, it just as long as you can behave yourself and state your opinion and your point of view, we're all about talking, hashing it out on the show. That's what we do. So yeah, that's something that's in the works right now. So yes,
that'll be cool. That'll be a cool discussion.
Yeah, and Just a Dad legend. Have you welcomed him into the ward?
No, can I? Because I'm a woman. And
Oh, in the Ward Radio Wigwam, we're giving the.
Actually, I call it the worship. So here we go. We have received the records of Just a Dad legend. All those that can welcome Just a Dad legend into the Ward Radio worship, please show by putting a W in the chat. How's that?
I refuse to do it. It's a priesthood position. I'm
W
not gonna
for
let you,
woman.
No, I'm just kidding. W for woman. W for Just a Dad legend. Here we go! Exclamation mark. Okay, cool. Let's keep.
Do you want me to just keep doing super chats?
Yeah, keep doing super
Okay,
chats.
Sherry Walford says,
I got the thing into the Discord if you want to be pulling that up while we continue.
All right,
Okay.
and Riley's
And there's
here. What's
Riley.
up?
There's
What up?
Riley. How are
Hi.
you?
Hi,
I'm
Riley.
so good.
Okay,
I'm
so
holding a baby right now. Here's its head.
Aww.
oh, cool, super
So
cool,
cute.
rock on.
Oh, guys, this is getting too feminine on the stream. I'm really
Yes.
uncomfortable with this.
We're
Patriarchy,
talking about the woman's thing. Is
patriarchy,
that what we're
horses.
talking about?
I need to drink some Red Bull.
Patriarchy only.
I need to drink some Red Bull and ride a horse now.
Okay, I'm going to interject and do the super chat. Okay, Sherry Walford says the Edmonton Eskimos had to change the team name as the term Eskimo is no longer politically correct.
Are you kidding me?
I guess not.
Dude, my home high school had to change from the Indians to the Hawks.
Yeah.
It's super lame.
Yeah.
Because we actually had a super cool local Indian tribe, the Tataviam, who were freaking awesome. But anyway, that's just lame woke
jeez.
school nonsense.
Polly Nikes, I don't know if I
On
can
the
read
bright
that.
side, our local high school is allowed to keep the Spanish fork dons.
Wait, what?
Dons are okay. Dons are fine.
Because they're from
Because
Spain.
they're Spanish, so it's okay.
Oh, the Dons.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
thought
Dons. Like Don Juan, yeah.
I thought you said dongs, and I was like,
Oh, everyone does. Everyone does. It's a little bit sketchy.
I was like, who named it
I
that?
didn't go there, so I'm in the clear. I'm not a Don.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So, keep reading, babe. What's
Okay, well, the next one is Polly Nikes, and it's just going to make you passionate. So here
what?
we go.
okay,
Like,
what?
what the heck? Okay, question for Carden. What group of people are responsible for suburban niceness culture and the trafficking of feminism ideology into the church?
You mean what group was the sentinel at the gate that fell asleep and let? Look at Brad. Look at Brad. He's like, oh no.
Thank you, Polly Nikes.
Here
Thank
we
you
go.
so much for that.
We're now
Right at the start of the stream.
the handbook generation. We are not making a generational argument. They're the Sadducees and the handbook generation. I've promised Ed Thomas that I will go 6 episodes without using the word, and I'll exercise self-control. Don't you tempt me, Polly Nikes. Don't you tempt me. If you give me a $50 super chat, I might just say it though. But not.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding.
Hey,
So
hey, Carden.
Yes.
So I know I didn't prep you for this ahead of time, but I actually have a birthday present prepared for the Relief Society here tonight. If we have just a minute, I have a birthday present for all the women listening to this. But first, you have to go click like on the stream. You have to go click
we
like,
gotta
everybody.
the stream.
Okay,
Yeah,
go up there.
cool.
Click the like button, everybody.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about something that I don't know. I don't think you might not have heard this before. So this is the first time you've ever heard this. Great. In the Discord, I've thrown the most recent thing in the Discord is a little blurb
Okay.
there regarding a very sensitive verse in the Bible. If you remember, in the New Testament, ladies, what is your favorite verse in
It's
the
the
New
one
Testament?
where like it
from
says
Paul?
women should be quiet in the chapels.
Bingo! It says
Ah.
women should be silent in the churches. Don't you
Why are
love
we
that
bringing
verse?
this up?
Oh, because Brad. Oh, just you wait.
Okay, I got it pulled
Because-
up right here. Okay.
Because there is new evidence, actually, that 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34 and 35 are anachronistic retrospective interpolations. They were not supposed to be there. Paul never wrote that.
Oh,
Really?
dude.
Paul never wrote these things. And you can totally tell. This is the work of Dr.
so it was-
William Walker of University of Massachusetts in Amherst, releasing this about 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and a couple other verses that he's found this on. Interpolations, if you don't know, or retrospective interpolations are, we look back at all these documents, we find these documents for the books of the Bible, and we find people writing about those documents in the Bible. And if you look at them all, you find out that everyone's quoting everything except this verse. Where does this verse come from? Like it almost seems like no one knew about the verse for like
So-
300 years. And
Jonah,
so it makes
are you
suspect-
telling me that at some point some angry sexist monk was copying down some version of the Bible
Or
and was
inspired.
like, ah,
Come on, let's not take that off the table. Like, come on, bro.
No, what I'm telling you is that I've
like
actually been
some nun had been mean to him that day. And
Yes.
he's like, I'll show you. Like,
Sister
No, this is
Margaret
like the South
rejected
Park-
him, and he's like, yeah, you want to reject me on a date? I'm translating the Tyndale Bible here. Let's see how you and the Sisters of the Perpetual Triangle, or whatever they call it, you know what I'm saying?
This is like, you know why South Park is so anti-Mormon? Because the dudes who wrote South Park both got dumped by LDS girls when they were young, and that's why they're
did they
bitter,
really?
Is
right?
that true?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
He asked her to marry.
Oh, I think I've heard that before.
He asked her to marry him, and she was like, "No, because you're not Mormon. Sorry."
can I just
And
say,
so-
I wish as a church we would take that verse more seriously, because I, for one, do not ever want to give a sacrament talk again. So fine,
No,
I'm fine
stop it,
being
Brittany.
quiet.
No,
Whatever.
Brittany, stop it, Brittany. So Brittany thinks that this was. Brittany thinks this was a retrospective interpolation
inspired
by a
interpolation.
woman.
Tender mercy.
By a woman who was tired of giving talks, and so she wrote it in the letter of Paul. But actually, if you can tell, every one of you can do this at home. You can look up 1 Corinthians chapter 14, and you can start reading. And the first half of the chapter is about what? Spiritual gifts. The second half of the chapter is about what? Spiritual gifts. And then in the middle of it, there's like these random verses. By the way, let women keep silent in the churches, for it's not permitted for them to speak, and they need to be subservient to men, and blah blah blah. Back to spiritual gifts, and you're like, what in the heck was that?
Are
Right?
we
It's
just
thrown
are
in
we
there.
just choosing? Are we just choosing? You know, to interpret the scriptures and say the parts that we don't like are anachronistic misinterpretations.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm telling everybody. It's called Evidence for Interpretation in Paul by William O. Walker, Trinity University. Go look it
Are
up.
you pulling a Dan McClellan? Are
Go
you
look it
pulling a
up,
Dan
guys.
McClellan? No, I'm just
It
kidding.
was never in there, and there's so many evidences for it. You can never find it quoted by any of the patristic fathers, Irenaeus and Clement and Origen and all these guys. No one ever quotes that verse. Also, women were speaking in the churches. They were speaking all over the churches. Why
Actually,
the heck is Paul telling them not to when they're already
Yeah,
speaking everywhere?
what do they do with Junia? Right? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, well, and the thing is, the
Junia.
Junia is
I don't know who that is.
in the book of Corinthians in the opening when he says, please give a salutation, and he names like 7 people who you should say hi to on my behalf. One of them, named as an apostle, was a woman named Junia, and it was a strictly female name. It's like saying Brittany. It's not like Renee, where there's dudes named Renee, there's dudes named Courtney, there's
Or
dudes
Riley.
named Ashley, there's dudes named Riley. You know what I'm saying? If you ever decide to go transgender, Riley, your parents gave you a very convenient name. You know what I'm saying? Just
Thank
like
you.
no paperwork
Thank you,
necessary. You know what I'm saying? No
Love that.
paperwork necessary.
They were so prepared, so forward
They were
thinking.
so-
What
you know?
a weird thing to say.
Look, like it's convenient.
thank
name.
you, Jonah.
It's a convenient name.
She's holding
You know?
holding a baby next to her husband, to whom she's happily married. You know, if you ever decide to go
It's
to
just
trans,
look. We got to her late. She's already out of high school, so we can't send the activist counselor without her parents' approval.
Oh my
and
gosh.
they live in Utah.
How about,
You know what I'm saying?
instead of digging this hole deeper, we go
No,
to
that's
the
what
thing I
you know.
put
That's
in
what
the
they're doing
Discord.
here. No, you know they've passed those laws in California, right? Your medical records for anybody that's 12 to 18 cannot be released to the parents. They're released to the student unless the student gives a written permission. Like, no, they've got some really crazy and creepy parental.
When you turn 12, you have to, if you want your parents to be on your medical records or have access, you have to legally sign your name as a 12-year-old saying, yes, my parents can have access.
Yeah,
And
like,
what's funny is my friend had to go with
I
her
don't like that.
12-year-old, and her 12-year-old was like, wait, Mom, what do I do? What do I sign? And she's like, you sign here so I can help you.
yeah, no, it's like, so it seems like a bad Cardinellis joke where he's gone too far, when in reality it's just the reality of where we're at the bottom of the slippery slope here in Los Angeles. You got to remember that. You know what I'm saying? We're at the bottom. So that joke was actually only half joke. It was 90% reality. So anyway,
well, okay, I'm not. Hang on, I'm not done poking Cardin, because there's one other thing that we need to mention with this birthday present to the Relief Society. So first
Yeah.
of all,
Okay.
that verse in Paul, go look it up, should not be in there. Number 2, the Apocrypha say an awful lot about women disciples. The Apocrypha make it sound like the divine investiture of St. Michael, the discourse on Abaton by Timothy, the Archbishop of Alexandria II. If you go look up the Gospel of Mary Magdalene and these things, they all mention apostles, and then they say the apostles and women, meaning disciples. Essentially, they're saying every time it says disciples, it's meaning both sexes. in the 40-day ministry of Jesus Christ. And so during the 40-day ministry, when Christ was resurrected, he pulled the women in, he pulled the men in, and he talked to them and taught them. And he actually gave preferential treatment to the women at times, so much so that the apostles had to turn to Mary Magdalene and say, wait, what did he teach you? And Mary Magdalene was preaching to the apostles, telling them, here's what his teachings mean, and actually chiding them because they were jockeying for position. And Mary Magdalene is saying, hey guys, let's all get along. Anyways, the point is the Apocrypha showed that women were totally part of the church. They had positions in the church, not priesthood, but they were put over a widows society to help widows and things, kind of like a relief society thing, you know. And then the Cretists got rid of it, and they went back in Paul and they said, let other women be quiet. She won't marry me. I'll show her. And they all wrote this in Paul to get rid of it. So Relief Society women, don't worry. It's been restored. We got your back now. Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, we got your back.
Well, and also I will just chime in, Jonah, that the archaeological record actually very much backs up. I would almost say some of the predominance, especially financial, of female assistants in the early church. I think it was like 2 of the earliest 5. Now they keep finding earlier and earlier chapels as they like build freeways through Israel and accidentally stumble upon like Roman ruins, and they have to call in the antiquities people and say, okay, date this, and you know, what's going on here, right? But I think it was, last I was reading the book, like 2 of the earliest 5 chapels that were certified Christian chapels, okay? Not just Jewish synagogues where Christians may have met, but just like Christian edifices. 2 out of 5 of them, the mosaics on the floor, show that they were commissioned by wealthy females. It was female donors that like gave the money in order to do it. And according to the criterion of embarrassment, which would have existed back then in a very male dominated society, that would have actually been something generally frowned upon in 1st through 3rd century AD Judaism, which is one of the reasons why they believe that it was a strictly Christian chapel, and that one of the kind of doctrinal advancements of Christianity would have been a different view of females and their position in the church in comparison to the Judaism that surrounded them. So that's actually pretty interesting. Brad, you were going to chime in and say something?
2 things. 1, it was also a woman who commissioned Arnold Freeberg. So that's a fascinating thing.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, you can be silent and write the check still. No,
oh my gosh. So speaking, now that we're back to that, if you can pull up the Facebook response from the church, I think this is a really instructive, good thing that they're doing to try to respond in a positive way and help people know that they're being heard, right? So if you pull this up, there's the pinned comment from the author at the top of the church's post there.
Okay, Facebook. Here
Let
it
me
is.
know when you've got
Boom. I got it up in 3, 2. It's not loading. Oh, dang it. Finally loaded. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Talk about it. Brad, go.
Okay, do you see the part that says the church's social media team?
Yeah.
That
yes.
comment there.
Yes, I do.
So the church's social media team acknowledges the numerous comments that have emerged in response to this post. Thank you for taking the time to share your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Your comments will be shared with church leaders who follow these issues. We, like you, strive to follow the example of Jesus Christ in our interactions, including conversations online. Right?
Huh, okay.
So I think that's actually like a super chill way to respond to a lot of the comments that are happening here, and say like, hey, look, we're going to be reading through this. We are going to share these with church leaders. Because I mean, we've been talking about this, right? Where how we're called in the gospel to mourn with those that mourn, right? And I think that there are women who are commenting who are like legitimately in pain, and we need to comfort the people who stand in need of comfort. And it's difficult to balance that in an online conversation where, like, does the call to mourn with those that mourn require you to like give in to those who are throwing a tantrum, right? Like we were talking about with our kids.
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah, like we gave Isaac I gave him a sucker today because he went potty in the potty chair, and he finished it, and then he was mad because I didn't give him a green one after he'd finished the first one. And so he's throwing this tantrum, and it's like, I'm not validating his tantrum. I'm not saying, oh, okay, let me give you a green clicker. I'm mourning with you because you're crying and you're throwing a fit. So now you get what you want. I want what's best for him ultimately. So I'm not going to give it to him. I'm going to teach him that, guess what? You don't get that right now. And that's okay.
And so I think it's important that we, as a church, try to recognize that, like, hey, when you're when you are actually in pain, throwing a tantrum is not a way to like access God's divine kindness for you. He wants us to learn and grow and be understanding with each other, have some grace for the sister who gave this talk, for Sister Annette Dennis, was it? Yeah, J. Annette Dennis. And have some grace for each other. Take the time to not let your mourning turn you from somebody who's experiencing pain and sorrow into somebody who's now seeking to make others in pain and sorrowful, right? And so I think that this is a cool response from the church here to say, look, hey, we are hearing pain and suffering out there, and we're going to do what we can to try to address it, right? And so I'm curious to see what they'll do, if there'll be anything at general conference around this, or what it might look like.
Do you think this will actually rise to that level? Holy smoke. I like what you said about not rewarding people that are like throwing a tantrum. I'm actually not going to put this up on the screen because I don't want to put this person's comments on blast. All right. Because I would like to think they're dealing in good faith. But I love what you said, Brad, about we have to be able to mourn with those that mourn, but we can't give the cry bullies the heckler's veto anymore. Like the cry bullies and the spiritual terrorists have figured out that if they build their headquarters underneath the hospital, that they're not going to get bombed. And they use the innocent and those who are mourning that do stand in need of comfort, so that Christians can mourn with those that mourn and comfort those that stand in need of comfort. They realize that they can use those people as a human shield to Trojan horse their toxicity into the culture, the doctrine, the practices, and the everyday life of the church. And that is wrong, and it's evil, and it needs to stop. And that, to me, is the toxic nature of 21st century anti-Mormonism. 20th century anti-Mormonism was mostly intra-denominational, evangelicals taking issue with the Book of Mormon. There shall be no other books, like it says in Revelation, and in our opinion, some misinterpretations of scripture, but we could semi-amicably hash it out without anybody worrying about, like, I don't know, physical violence happening to them at some rally, right? But 21st century anti-Mormonism has been this woke scold version that is mostly propagated by ex-members of our church who have drank the Atheist 2.0 woke scold Kool-Aid and have figured out that they can cry bully all of their negative, bad ideas into the zeitgeist of the church through their spiritual terrorism, right? So, I'm just going to read this comment. This person says, you sold me on the disappearing comments being an Instagram coding glitch. There's some overreacting going on the issue of the comments being gone for a bit, but I don't think your approach of name calling those who are concerned about the issue at hand, how women feel about their church experience, is a good idea. You're making it versus them, lumping all these individuals and their feelings together and labeling them not valid, which is the very reason why anyone who's concerned about the comments disappearing in the first place. The Savior cares about the experience of each individual woman of the church. Jacob 2 declares that their tender and delicate feelings are pleasing to God. I appreciate your passion about how people ought to not lose their heads about these things, but in doing so, please don't discount the pain and the personal experience and so on and so forth. And so I literally said, so the toxic Exmo anti-Mormons' delicate feelings are pleasing unto God. Blah, ha, 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 ha. Now that might have not been the most sensitive thing to say. All right. But anyway, this person returns, right? And I don't want to go through the whole thing. Okay. But I do want to say that we can't. Okay, I am making it an us versus them thing. You're right. Because I don't, and maybe that's wrong of me. And what I should say is us, meaning 99.9% of the people that agree with me, versus them, meaning 99.9% of the people commenting and making an issue out of this, because I really feel like that is the batting average nowadays. I feel that the era of honest questioning is kind of over. I feel like the people that actually really had concerns about the role of women in the church, the role of priesthood, the gender dynamics in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I feel like that's such a 2007 to 2017 thing, okay? But now the people that are left commenting on this, saying the toxic and cruel and horrible things that they're saying, not allowing their grandparents to see their kids because their grandparents aren't woke enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these people that are engaged in spiritual terrorism, I feel like 99.9% of the people commenting on this post were not honest inquiries. Like, there's been way too many fair Mormon articles written, way too many nice Scripture Plus videos done, way too many ad nauseum changes to this temple ceremony, official declarations from the church, general conference talks. There has been so much bending over backwards done for the past 20 years of my adult life for me to feel that anybody commenting on this issue on this post was not doing it from a place of genuine concern and naivete or ignorance to the role of women in our church. It's this rabid, toxic, never satisfied, you can do nothing wrong cry-bullyism, where I'm going to build my headquarters under the hospital of these people so you can't bomb us. You know, it's spiritual terrorism, and these people are horrible human beings, 99% of them now. Now there's that 1%. There's that 1% that may not be. And I give grace to that 1%. But I doubt, personally, and this is my opinion, I doubt that 99% of these people are not people trafficking in human misery and profiting off it. And there's receipts, man. There's receipts.
Carden.
That is a huge percentage. I feel like here's the deal. I feel like a lot of the problem is that today what's getting pushed on women, and the reason that there's such a big problem with it, is because we're told over and over again that success looks a certain way. And I think the biggest problem is that we're told that success equals leadership positions, and it equals being the CEO, or it equals being an apostle or general authority or whatever it may be. And I think that the biggest problem is we need to reframe what success looks like, especially when it comes to women. Because for women, success why are we being told that we're only successful if we're succeeding in men's roles or whatever? You know what I mean? I think there are so many good things that women have, and we're being told over and over that motherhood is not successful because being a CEO is more successful. And I think that I think there's nothing wrong with owning that womanhood has a different kind of success than typical traditional manhood. And that's probably not a cool opinion of me.
No. And just so you know, like, we've literally seen commercials where it's like, one of the lines was literally too bold for motherhood.
Too bold for motherhood. I literally wanted to throw something at the screen because I'm like, you wimp pansy woman, you can't handle it. That's your problem.
Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that has given birth or watched their wife give birth and knows how difficult that pregnancy, birth, and recovery process is, how exhausting that is, how physically just Wonder Woman you have to be to pull it off. You know, like,
I gotta wonder.
This woman, well, she goes to a 9-to-5, and so I guess she has a big leg up on me.
Oh yeah, that chick at the DMV processing paperwork. She's outclassing the mother of four. She's working harder than the mother of four.
I don't want to stereotype people too badly, but anybody who says too bold for motherhood probably had a sucky mom who didn't teach them about motherhood, because you don't know a clue about motherhood if you think I'm too bold for motherhood. Like, were you a test tube baby? Like, how do you have no idea anything?
Or they're just trying to justify because they're really afraid to be a mom, so they're trying to justify their choice.
And the thing that Riley and I were talking about is like, hey, what does the priesthood look like for men and women? Because I don't know that it's going to look the same. I feel like we're ultimately going to have different roles. There's going to be some sorts of overlap, but like,
absolutely. And I don't think that, I mean, obviously women would make killer apostles, and that'll be awesome. And maybe that's coming. I don't know. But just to say that women are somehow less in the church because they're not in these man roles, I think is stupid.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to get canceled.
Like, I don't want a man role. Like, you want me to sign your checks? Don't talk to me. Like, I'm going home. Like, I don't want to sign your check. Like,
thank you. That's empowerment. Send the men home too.
Right.
They want that's success.
Ah.
That's funny. Well, so anyway, are you the one that put the screenshot of the Julie Hanks response that I hadn't seen yet? Are you the one that stuck that in the Discord? Who stuck that in the Discord? I just saw that. There was a screenshot.
I think Jonah might have thrown it in.
Oh, you might have thrown
sorry,
that in.
we have to take a little break, Card, and I'm sorry to interrupt you guys, but all this talk is
We
just
gotta get some super
we're getting off track. We have not read from the Holy Book in a while here.
Okay.
In 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34, that you're all familiar with, it says, "Arg, let your wenches keep mum in the churches, for it be not allowed for them to chatter. They must be disciplined and obey orders as the law commands. And if they be wanting to learn anything, let them ask their husbands ashore, for it wouldn't be a shame for wenches to speak in ye church."
Wow, that's
Beautiful,
awesome.
beautiful.
Hey, now you know how anti-Mormon rule like number 12 is that they're always trying to co-opt other churches' scandals and make them ours. The Mormon Church of all North American Christian churches has for a long time been the most, especially doctrinally, wide open to women. We openly have hymns talking about Heavenly Mother and a doctrine of eternal procreation that is physical. We have a divine investiture of women in the temple as co-participants in God's glory, an interpretation of scripture that literally makes them, listen to that again, co-participants in God's glory. All right. This is absolutely unheard of. But because this was all happening, my algorithms have just recommended me a video by Vadi Beauchamp in which he was asked about women in the priesthood. And I'm like, I would like to think that the 1% of people that we're talking about, this is like the big A word argument, okay? When we're talking about the R word, the I word, and mother's life, we're talking about less than 1% of the big A words that happen in America. So obviously, yes, we're going to be making concessions for those few examples. But when we talk about the big A word in legislation, we're talking about A words of convenience here. Okay, we're talking about the overwhelming fake feminist attitude that, oh, you don't have your college degree yet, so you should go get an A word. All right. So, I mean, when we're talking about women in the Mormon church, yes, we can, there is that 1% of people that I think might be honestly making solid questions, and we'll direct people towards those solid answers. But the rest of these folks, I feel, are dishonestly trying to co-opt other churches' scandals. And there have been scandals in other churches and doctrine, in my opinion, that is kind of like wildly sexist. And I think it's very interesting that you said, okay, a lot of this is a mistranslation, because here's an interaction that just came across my feed today where I thought, wow, I think this is what people are really getting mad at, right? So this is Vadi Beauchamp, who thinks that Mormons aren't Christian, and has been pretty vocal against the church many a times, being asked a similar question about women in the priesthood.
And my wife is not going to let me go home if I don't ask this question, because she can't ask it. You can answer it after this. She just wanted to know why women are not allowed to preach in the church. And if a woman feels that she has the gift of preaching, why isn't she allowed to preach? Thanks.
Okay, so now he's looking through his iPad. He's looking through his iPad. And here it comes.
1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 12. I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. So, because the Bible says so.
Nope.
Wait, bro.
No.
You gotta unmute yourself.
Sorry, I was covering up the baby eating noises. But, so he just straight read that in church?
It was some Q&A, bro. It's like he's in front of a white drywall, and he's got some polo shirt on. And so, I mean, there's another minute in the video, and he probably goes to clarify and stuff like that. But I mean, that was his opening salvo, was because the Bible says so, right? So this is why I always say feminists should be the most pro Book of Mormon. True feminists, and this is why I call them all fake feminists, because real feminists would be so pro Book of Mormon because we don't have that answer. like we can't just say, yeah, because the Bible said so. And sola scriptura and sola fide dictates that you're a bad person if you don't agree with me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
chauvinism came in with the creeds, people. That's where it came from. Jesus Christ was not a chauvinist. He did not have a misogynistic view of women. It's the creeds.
If you believe some of the stuff Margaret Barker says, some of the Josiah reforms, maybe.
Yes, absolutely.
I've been
Brad.
studying that recently. Super fascinating.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Now, Cardin, in the Discord, we have a little picture. The most recent thing that I put in there. I think this would be nice to show.
Cool.
But first of all, everybody has to go like the stream. Everybody has to like the stream. I'm not going to keep putting things in the Discord if we don't like that stream.
And then we might need to get to some super chats.
Oh yes, super chats,
Brad. But the most recent picture that I put in the Discord, this photograph shows all these women dancing and celebrating. You know who these women are? These women are members of the Relief Society in Nigeria.
Oh, rock on.
Nigeria is a majority Muslim country. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is over in a majority Muslim country telling these women that they can organize and have their own Relief Society and their own publications and their own activities and their own leadership and their own lessons and sermons and curriculum, all they want, in a place that is a majority Muslim country. Here in the West, maybe we've run out of dragons to slay, and so we have to think up some new ones to slay. Okay, and these activists who are just bored and chasing in circles like the cat, like the zoo animal, you know, that just goes around its cage all day. Maybe they're just bored looking for dragons to slay, or they find monsters under every bed, or ghosts in every closet or something. But this is in Nigeria.
And horses.
The church goes all over the world telling women that they are divine, that a man is not without a woman. You can't be a bishop without a wife. You can't be a senior missionary without a wife. You can't be in temple leadership without a wife. As a matter of fact, priesthood is incomplete without sealing to a woman. Women have their own section of the temple. They can do whatever they want. Women have their own room in the temple, the bridal chamber, with which no man is allowed to enter.
Oh, and by the way, go to every single chapel. Do you ever notice there's a primary room and a Relief Society room, but there ain't no elders quorum room? We get relegated to what's left over in the gym. You know what I'm saying? So, like, please, you want to start talking systemic sexism? Give us a freaking room with the nice fuzzy chairs like you got. I want a doily.
Don't you guys get the chapel?
Did you hear Riley?
What'd she say?
She said, it's because we hope you work out.
Oh, savage. Something you can never say to a woman.
True.
So anyway, let's catch us up on Super Chat. Brittany, keepers of the chats.
Okay, well, my phone can't go back that far, but I can see it on that screen right there.
Okay.
So Fidget the Crazy says, this whole thing is just the dumbest thing to me. The more these people complain, the more I'm willing to tune them out and flip them off.
So un-Christ-like, but it feels really good right now, Fidget. Like, I will admit, I shouldn't like that. I shouldn't like that, but I kind of do, Fidget. And the fact that you drive a motorcycle just makes it that much cooler. You know what I'm saying? So
I understand the sentiment, but I think that what we are called to do as members of the church is just a little different.
Okay, I take that back, Fidget. I take that back. Brad shamed me into not liking
this wasn't
that.
Shame.
No, I'm just kidding.
But also, okay, I just had this thought. It seriously annoys me. Like, why can't we believe that we are powerful? Like, why are these women going into the comments saying, validate me, like, I want to be powerful? Like, girl, own up and be powerful. Like, you don't need a man to tell you, okay, here you go, here's some power, to feel powerful. Like, what are these women doing? That's what I want to say. Like, freaking own up and be powerful yourself.
Ooh,
gosh,
that's some dragon energy right there. I'm digging it. Are you sure you're a Taurus and not a Draco?
I am a Taurus.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's why you're so good. Taurus is rock on. Okay, Snagrit says, can't wait for President Oaks to, oh man, I don't know if I'm reading this one. You know what I'm saying? But it says, can't wait for President Oaks to excommunicate some woke skulks from the pulpit at this general conference. Dude, I do have to say one thing.
Oh my gosh.
My dad, as a kid, remembers back when, like, apparently like once a quarter, they would actually get everybody, when it was like elders quorum, they'd kick the youth out and they'd kick the elders and they would announce who had been excommunicated, apparently. Like the protocol used to be like, they would let people know the X, Y, and Z person has been excommunicated because, and I was like, whoa, that is savage. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like all done quietly and, all that other stuff. But I was like, man, the 70s, they were freaking hardcore, dude. Next super chat, babe. Is it?
You're going to have to scroll because I don't think
Okay,
my
I'm
phone
scrolling
goes.
up. I'm finding the super chats right now. Next super chat is... Rex Good said, how does the Pirate Bible translate 1 Corinthians 14:34? Can you look that up, my man?
Yes, that's what I read. That's what I read.
It says, Shadow, can you read / explain the Gen Z Book of Mormon version versus 2 Nephi? 2 Nephi 13:4-5. Okay, so 2
I love
Nephi.
this thing. I love this book.
What is 2 Nephi? What is this again?
I'm not a scriptorian, so I'll have to read it.
Okay, so you're going to read it. I'm going to find it for you, babe. It's
Which one was it?
2 Nephi 13.
Oh, wait, no, Jonah's looking up the pirate one.
Yeah, Jonah's looking up Corinthians. This is 2 Nephi 13:4-5. Okay.
Isaiah chapters. Right? Yeah, it's Isaiah chapters.
Okay, 13:4-5. Here you go, babe.
Okay.
There you go. Boom shagalaka. Patriarchy.
13:4-5.
Yeah, 13:4-5.
Okay. Instead of experienced leaders, they'll have kids and babies running the show. The people will be oppressed by each other, with kids disrespecting the elders and the lowly disrespecting the respected.
Oh, is this they shall be evildoers, disrespectful of parents, and is it that verse?
Babes shall rule over them.
Babes shall rule over them? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
So Rise of the Nursery, is that what we're thinking?
Rise of the sunbeams.
It's like the old...
I don't know. I feel like it could describe either presidential candidate currently.
That's funny. When you do go senile, it's like returning. It's like returning to baby
RFK
status.
Jr. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah, Brittany's loving RFK
I'm all
Jr.
about RFK Jr. But
RFK Jr.
I already sent in your ballot, babe. Sorry, this is California. You got ballot harvested. Nice. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we got another one here. Oh yeah, Rex Good. How does the Pirate Bible translate 1 Corinthians 14:34? Did you look that up, Jonah?
Yes, that's the one that I read. Let the
one you read.
wenches be silent. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Corey Richmond, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, are Riley and Brittany trad wives? LOL. Riley, are you a trad wife? Did you leave your house dress?
Recently that there are multiple definitions of trad wife. I feel fairly trad, but I feel like some people who define it not the way I think. I don't feel like I'm anything negative. So on all the good stuff about a trad wife.
All right, rock on, Britt.
What are the negative things about a trad wife?
Yeah.
I don't know. Brad was telling me something. I was saying I'm so trad right now because I was holding a baby and I was cooking and I wasn't wearing shoes and I was like, this is the life. And then he was like, watch out, because some people. What did you say?
Some people use it kind of grossly.
Yeah, I don't identify with any of the grossness. Just the classiness of I take care of our babies. I still work. I work from home and stuff, and that's fine. I don't know.
Yeah, you're a millennial. You can't survive in our modern economy without having a side hustle. But yeah, are you trad, babe? Are you a trad wife?
I don't identify as a trad wife. I identify as a queen. So I don't know how to respond to that super chat.
Oh, you are a traditional queen. You go, girl. And what about you, Jonah? What about you?
She's not wrong. I mean, the temple, right?
Yeah.
Queens. Yeah. You're all queens.
I'm just really spiritual.
Queens
guys.
and priestesses.
Dude, that's where Gen Z stole it from. Gen Z stole that from the LDS temple. They must have stole the, hey, queen. That sounds like they stole it from our ordinance.
That's true. They secretly, desperately want religion. They want to be queens.
Rock
what it is.
Okay, so we got another
and that's the thing that I want to try to help people understand, if possible, right? Do we have more super chats to catch up on, or can I share
No, say something, bro. We can get to the super chats in a second.
Okay, let's get those pulled up. I think we're missing one from Carolyn Wright Gaines Music, so we got to get that one in.
Oh, okay.
But I put this in, Carden, if you can pull up the Bible Gateway passage from Matthew 23:11.
Yes.
If you want to pull that one up.
Yes, I'm visiting the
I
site.
think this is maybe part of the core of the issue here, right?
Okay, I got it up right here.
In Matthew 23:11, this is how Christ views power, right?
I love this, Brad.
But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. It is in our humility that we are able to inherit the kingdom of God, right? If we go back, we read the Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes, and we really try to internalize that in what Jesus Christ is teaching, I think that's going to change a little bit about the way that we start behaving ourselves. I think our modern society has taken in so much of this postmodern definition of power and the power dynamics between people that it has made it extremely difficult to look at anything outside of the lens of oppressor versus oppressed. And I don't think that that's how Jesus wants us to be viewing it. I think that Jesus wants us to be looking at this as, hey, you want to be great? Serve everybody, right? And I think viewed under this definition, what Sister Annette Dennis said makes perfect sense. Because what does the Relief Society do, right?
Okay. Well,
now,
then,
I want to say
yeah,
that I think that there are times when maybe traditionally men in the church haven't adhered to this definition, right? Like, we have a whole scripture about that in D&C 121, talking about warning against the priesthood being taken if you are not living correctly in the way that you're applying it, right? But I think that we need to change and do what we can as a people, both men and women, to strive to be humble and to seek to do things in the way that Jesus would, to hear people out, to listen to what they're trying to say, and to let what they're saying affect us so that we can understand where they're coming from and then try to come closer to God through it.
Yeah. So then here's a challenge that we have, because, you know, we've invoked the name of Julie Hanks. I'm just going to read you a comment that got put in our Discord here. A lot of people asking for a response from this. Says, yes, priesthood power is given to the women of the LDS church through setting apart for callings and through the endowment, but it's only granted through men by men. Men decide the callings. Men must sign your temple recommend. Men perform the endowment with the exception of washing and anointing. Men clarify what, quote, priesthood authority, end quote. No, sorry, please clarify what priesthood authority, end quote, actually means. What authority do LDS women actually have? We can serve in callings, serve in families and communities, and pray, which everyone can do. Last year, my daughter asked me to officiate her civil wedding. I was ordained on the internet through the American Marriage Ministers with the power and authority to perform my daughter's wedding. It was so touching and such an honor to be an integral part of my daughter's special day, something that couldn't happen in my church because I'm a woman. It's heartbreaking that our heavenly mother, our eternal prototype, was not mentioned once in women's conference. Until we recognize equality of heavenly parents, we will not have equality in the organization of the church or in our families. Say her name. Say her name, dang it.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh.
You know,
I will throw
Say
my
my
mouth.
name, say my name. No
Yeah.
one is around.
She should have
Say,
put the
baby, I
musical
love
emoji,
you.
because I know Dr. Julie Hanks can sing, so maybe she should have had the musical emoji of say her
Was that
name.
Julie Hanks?
Oh, yeah, because she's an Acevedo.
Yeah, dude. So anyway,
Yeah,
what would
Acevedo,
you
right?
respond to that, you big bigot? I'm sorry.
Okay, so
I
here's
meant to say.
So here's what
I'm
here's
asking
what
Brad.
I responded.
I'm asking
sorry, go
Brad. So you just had this beautiful thing about how Christ said, "He who is servant is the least among us," and so on and so forth. What would you say to Julie Hanks?
Dude, I think I would need to have a one-to-one conversation with Julie Hanks to ask her some questions to try to better understand where it is she's coming from. Because there are some of the things that she's saying that I can kind of commiserate with and think, well, I mean, if you view that as only men are allowed to authorize these things, they're literally just being a puppet of God in that moment, in my eyes, And so, like, I don't know, maybe that's still not enough for her. So I would be curious to understand why she feels like decisions are being made by men only and seems to think that women aren't involved when, like Jonah said earlier, almost every single one of these higher up positions, these men are married. Like,
Have
do you
to
really
be
think
married.
they don't talk to their wives?
You're
Right?
required
They have to be married. And like even patriarchs, they have to be married, right? Like, do you really think they're not counseling with their wives on these things? Like, my dad was a bishop when I was in my teens, and the amount of times I saw him talk to my mom about these things, I'm like, how do I understand this? I think that's how it's supposed to go.
But
And
see, this to
I
me
don't know.
is
To me, that
this
sounds,
is why
wait,
I call
let me finish. Let me finish. No.
I'm sorry,
I
Brad.
need to finish. What I'm saying to Julie Hanks is, I think that where you lose me the most is when we get to the demand of there's not going to be equality until X happens. Say her name, right? Like, that doesn't sound very humble to me. That doesn't sound like a way to try to affect change in the church. I think if we're going to be sustaining our leaders, we need to be looking at them and saying, hey, yes, we have the same goal, right? We each love God and we love all of his children. We love God, we love our neighbor. Let's try to find a way to do that the best. And I think that throwing out things like that complicates things and makes it more difficult for us to get to what might be a real solution that could help everybody.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are okay. Sorry, Jonas, say what you want to say, and then I'll
okay.
bring up my
So
point.
this is a response that I wrote to something just like that in the Discord yesterday.
Okay.
That does it not feel backwards to have disciples of Jesus Christ jockeying for position? It's a bit ironic. When the apostles tried this, Jesus put them in their place. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. What does equality actually look like? Women setting policy, which actually in many ways they already do. But why? Why is coercive control the only power that you can find? We were told for centuries that blacks had no power because there'd never been a black president. Now, forget 400 years of black businessmen, lawyers, engineers, doctors, inventors, athletes, scientists, farmers, some of the best in all North America. The only power that you care about is political. That says far more about the critic than it does about the critique. Jesus taught the complete opposite. You're viewing the world through the lens of coercion and domination and politics. Jesus doesn't see that. He says service is glorious. He looks at the pursuit of power as evil, Julie. Our women are godly and divine, not because they can do advanced calculus or because they hold elected office, but because they can create life, nurture order from chaos, lift everyone to a higher plane of existence. They can cultivate without force, and they can persuade without decree.
Wow.
That's my response.
Boom shakalaka. I'll just pitch in, and then Bird, if you got any thoughts, you know what I'm saying, you can pitch in here as well. What I totally took issue with here was at the end. Until we recognize equality of heavenly parents, we will not have equality in the organization of the church or in families. Say her name. Okay. I don't think I'll take the political euphemism of I don't think they realize the blind spot this creates. And all of this progressive Mormon really kind of hates Jesus at the end of the day. And I'm not going to do this whole Christian gatekeeping nonsense. But my question to people saying this argument is, well, what would you do with Jesus when he came down and he called 12 dudes as his apostles? Would you say your church is fake? You're full of crap? Your atonement isn't real? I'm not accepting it until you say her name.
Wow.
You know, this is literally
You're right.
This is spiritual terrorism. This sounds like a freaking Al-Qaeda manifesto until you say the name of whatever my version of radical Islam is, and you say whatever my slogan is on my black flag. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to accept the things they say about the West and about Israel. The slogans that they come up with about death to America, and until you X, Y, or Z, like, don't associate with Israel, we're going to consider you a valid target. You know, it's like, this is insanity.
So great comment from the chat from Cade Stuckey. Heavenly Father is pulling a Will Smith and making sure we keep his wife's name out of our mouths.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, but legitimately, I would love to hear more from Julie Hanks, like in a setting where we can actually have a discussion, because half of what gets typed in a comment that she knows tons of people are going to read is going to come across differently than what she would say if we were speaking face to face. So I want to make sure that I understand where she's coming from.
I'm just glad that there's thousands and thousands of people who are thinking of joining the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who are listening to Julie Hanks and now giving it second thoughts. Good job, Julie. Great job. Really glad you could do that. You see the world through a political lens, through power and domination, and that's the only way that you view the world. And your view of womanhood is the more they're like men, the better. I'm really glad that you're out there using your microphone to sow dissent and skepticism of God's church. Great job. Great job, Julie.
Okay. Well, so I'm in the camp of, okay, let's try not to assign him dirty motives. I would like to think,
what? Don't try to assign them. It's Julie Hanks.
I'm pure as the driven snow. I'm pure. I've never committed this sin ever in my life.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Everyone knows it. You don't need to say
I'm just kidding.
anything.
I'm just kidding. So here's the deal. I will say, I have corresponded with her, and she's actually given me your email address, and I have to get on that. That's on me, and I accept personal responsibility for her not being here and being able to talk. And you are welcome, Dr. Julie Hanks. Which, I admit I'm jealous of the doctor title. That is just so cool. You know what I'm saying? No matter who you are, I think if I had to change my name, I'd do the Dr. Philastus Hurlbut thing and just change it to doctor, so I could just I could just screw that system. So you know what, Dr. Julie Hanks, here's the deal. You're welcome to come on our show. I'll fly you out. Okay, we'll stick you up in a nice hotel. Okay, and there's some rules though. You got to come on our show, explain yourself. It'll be fun. You know what I'm saying? Cool, fun, safe environment to say whatever you want. Welcome to the jungle. We're going to have a cool party here. But we also have to do a tasteful duet because I would like to think I was a tenor 1 in high school, but I think all of the screaming on this show and just age in general has brought me down to like tenor 2, maybe baritone. Okay. And from what I understand, she's a solid, it's alto or soprano, I can guess here, and I'm 50-50 gonna get it right. But we have to do some kind of like just like a little opening hymn. It doesn't have to be Mormon. It can be Jay-Z. It can be Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? It could be Jason Derulo, but we have to get at least 30 seconds of musicality out of her at some point, because I've heard her sing and she's lovely. I've heard her sing. And
now, just so everybody there, in case you're on a plane with Dr. Julie Hanks and somebody needs CPR, do not ask Dr. Julie Hanks because they will die. She's not an actual doctor.
She's a therapist.
Okay, she's a therapist. She literally makes her living off of feeding people's fears and insecurities so they can pay her to solve them. She is a life insurance salesman. You could use a little more life insurance. That church is oppressing you. I can fix that for you. Come on over here.
We have Cardin being like, Julie, come on the show, and then Jonah like,
you're scaring
people's
go.
ego.
Yeah, you can talk to Cardin. Cardin's very nice.
You're scaring even me, Jonah. No.
He'll be kind. He'll be kind to everybody, but I think Julie Hanks is kind of the anthropomorphization of cancer. Actually.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Let's
Jonah,
come on, Jonah.
Gosh.
Chill.
Look, I've
Jonah,
had family members refuse to speak to us because therapists got a hold of them.
Okay.
Therapists ruin families. This is what they do. This is how they make their moolah.
Okay, look.
And that's Julie Hanks' MO. Sorry, not sorry, Julie.
Okay, so you're bringing some trauma to this that I am aware of, and I will say, I don't. We got to have a conversation with her before we lay that at her feet, because we don't like it when people do that to us. Okay. However, I will say your general premise of progressivism being Trojan horsed into our society via therapy, okay, over the past 10 years has been a massive problem. And there's a lot of really cruel, bad actors who've decided to go that route in a pervasive way that I think is bad. Now, I think it's fair. We're not saying that, you know what I'm saying? But that is a problem that exists out there. And if that is not your intent, we would like to differentiate you from those that do use that Trojan horse. And so let's go.
Because there are things that I've seen Julie Hanks post that worry me, right? But I haven't spoken to her, so I can't really confirm or deny what her MO is as confidently as Jonah is doing right now.
That is fair.
Maybe I'm naive.
That is fair.
Not sorry. Great super chat from Rex Good, who's been a member for 18 months. Rex Good, I think, he's like our Elders Quorum president by this point. He says, "Can I come on the Julie Hanks episode and ask her to stop being my ally?"
Ooh, savage!
I love Rex Good.
Man, right when I thought we were making some headway. Ward Radio is a fun place for all ideas to be spoken in an open environment. You know what I'm saying? and then,
which is an answer to some of the people who are asking, why are you platforming? There were a few super chats. I don't know if we hit these. Why are you platforming polygamy deniers? I think I saw that twice. earlier on.
Did I not notice
I
that
think
super
we
chat?
missed a lot of super chats.
Oh,
Because I remember
crap.
there was one about a mission president. He's a young mission president, and he was looking for advice. I can't remember his name, but it was in orange.
What? Are you kidding me? Hold on. I'm going to go back to the other live stream right here. I'm going to go to the top. If we miss some super chats, I will be absolutely heartbroken.
I mean, sorry, these three
Oh,
gentlemen.
here it is.
keep
Here it is. No,
talking.
you're right. Esteban Leal says, any advice for a young soon-to-be mission president going to be to a mission in Europe? In addition to the obvious advice to focus on the preach my gospel, follow the spirit, etc. Great work. Oh, Esteban, you are welcome to come on this show, my man. First off, I want to know where in Europe. One of my buddies, a dear friend of mine, served in Europe, and he said the first thing you got to get out of your system is this idea that Europe is just some little part of the vineyard that's not going to have too much success. There is amazing work to be done in Europe, especially Western Europe, Eastern Europe. It's there, bro. Let's make a podcast out of that. Here's my answer. Get close to God. Develop the single closest relationship you can. Recognize the spirit, because you will have the craziest, coolest, awesomest promptings. When you're a man at home, being a steward over your family and your job and your flocks and your fields, you're kind of in ground and pound mode. When you're a mission president, your life so drastically changes, and so will your impressions, so will your responsibilities, and you will absolutely need that spiritual connection. So first, that is the catch-all, that is the answer-all, is cultivate your personal relationship with God and your ability to recognize the spirit, because I've been very good, dear friends, with so many people that have been mission presidents or were my own mission presidents, and all of them have said the exact same thing. And
what I would say to
Yeah.
Esteban is, like all missionaries, I give the same advice. God called you, Esteban. He called you to be that mission president, because you are who he needs to do that. Stay close to God and do what you're going to do. Don't try to be anybody else, just like missionaries. Don't try to be anybody else's missionary. Don't try to be Elder Ellis or Elder Barnes or Elder Whitbeck. Don't try to do that. You be you, and you're going to be great at it. And God cares about your success, so you can rely on that.
We got 4 more minutes, so we're going to burn through these super chats. Danny Gray.
I also had advice for him.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
You can send me lots of pastries
Riley
from
too.
Europe.
I served in Europe, so
Oh. Wait, where'd you
Riley.
serve?
Where'd
in
you
Europe?
serve?
Spain.
Ah, cool.
That's not Europe. That's Spain.
Yes,
No, I just got...
yes, it is Europe.
Oh my
It
god.
wasn't a
I
real
didn't know
mission.
that when I
It
got
was
my
an
college.
18-month
Some people were like,
vacation
"Where
to
in
the
South
Canary
America?"
Islands. Just
I
kidding.
did go to the Canary Islands too.
Yeah, you call that a mission? I call that a cruise. No, I'm just kidding.
When you can't even go.
I was in the
Come
ghettos
on.
of Buenos
I
Aires.
only served in the islands for 3 months. The rest of the time was in Madrid, and the Europeans were kind of rough. I'll say that.
Yeah.
There is some truth to that. But we did have a lot of success with the people from South America who lived in Spain.
That's funny. So, well, what's your advice then?
So any advice for him?
Even jerks are people, and God loves them, and it's fine. Just kidding. No, it's fine. You guys all have the really good advice, the good classic mission advice, and that is true.
I want to give you one really specific one that I think was really cool of my mission president.
Rock
and
on.
I don't know, pray about this one, decide if you want to use it or not. I found it super beneficial, at least like specifically for me. Maybe it won't be for your missionaries, but one rule that my mission president had was that you can read and study whatever you want while you're on your mission, as long as you have first studied the entirety of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, and the missionary library. So like the Preach My Gospel and everything there. And for me, that gave me a really solid foundation of what the scriptures actually say, and made it really helpful for me to later on realize when people would say things that weren't really representing what the scripture said correctly. So that's a cool rule that I think could be
That's
awesome.
hard to follow, but good job.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought of one. Don't make your sister missionaries wear nylons. There, I said it. It should not be a dress code. No.
Do people make sister missionaries?
Yes,
with
there's
nylon?
some missions where it was required for girls to wear nylons. Please
No.
don't be that mission president.
When I was in
Really weird.
when I was on my mission, I think they'd actually already gotten rid of that. It was one of those like archaic dress code things, kind of like how at BYU Idaho there still wasn't allowed to have like capris or something like that.
My
I don't
grandparents were mission presidents in Singapore when I was in high school, And that was like one of the first rules that my grandma was like, nope, we're not doing this anymore. It's humid. I don't want to wear them. You guys are not wearing them. So if any mission friends that are out there are still requiring girls to wear nylons, stop it.
Yeah, get rid of the nylons and buy them all Christian Louboutin heels. I think there really needs to be a $1,500 budget line item for red bottoms so these ladies can just crush it.
You want to go for 18 months walking mission only, no cars in those?
No, they should have freaking Bentleys. These chicks should be getting out of luxury sedans in red bottom heels, rocking it with professional hair and makeup.
So we can all get robbed in the Canary Islands. I love that.
No, they should have goons with them. They should have goon bodyguards. So when they get out of the cars, people wonder what queen they are talking to. They should look like they have a freaking entourage with them, like they're social media stars. So everybody wants to know what they have to say because we live in an attention economy.
I mean,
that's what they should be doing.
I would
Say her name.
I would join that church. If there was some girls with Louboutins and a Bentley, I'd be like, yeah, sure, sign me up. There we go. That looks good.
Riley, you don't think that'd be sick if some guy, some giant Armenian dude in the black caddy just showed up and he's like, are you ready to go to your 10 o'clock appointment, Sister Whitbeck? You know what I'm saying? They're like, yes. Thank you,
That would
Michael.
be awesome. That would, of course, be awesome.
You know, we know the sisters
Not
are coming because we
ridiculous.
hear the clickety-clack of stilettos. That'd be freaking
Okay,
sick.
so we got to get to a
Our
lot of
church is
super
humble.
chats.
We are humble here.
Okay, let's burn through the super chats.
Well, I can't because my phone died.
Oh, shoot. Okay, I'll burn
Yeah.
through the super chats right now.
Oh,
Danny
Brittany,
Gray says,
I
you
know.
know, you
Riley.
got one job.
here's a chance to exercise your Ward Radio wigwam priesthood. All right. Danny Gray says, all those in favor of the first Ward Radio baby blessing. Unfortunately, it already got done. It already got done. But we should have.
Oh, well, but not by our authority, it didn't.
That's true. So here's some holy water on baby Ava. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember the name. You know what I'm saying? But
Ava.
cute Ava. That's it. And so we have to give some kind of like challenge coin for good questions. We should get like little Ward Radio baby blankets or onesies. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And just have like baby Ward Radio onesies. If you give us a picture of like your baby on the Discord in like a Ward Radio onesie, you get some like challenge coin or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Run, shoot, ski says, Cardin, how's the church doing in California nowadays? Are members fleeing to Utah and Idaho to raise their families? The COVID days are over. There was a lot of families, especially families of athletes, who, due to the draconian Democrat lockdowns, you know what I'm saying?
Slip of the tongue.
Due to the draconian Democrat lockdowns here. It's actually really sad, but there were 2 years worth of athletes in California who missed entire scholarships unless their families could afford to move out of state where there were high schools that were playing their sport. But I know some volleyball families that had full ride scholarships lined up that they weren't able to take advantage of because the gyms were shut down, the schools were shut down, and there were 2 entire seasons of high school athletic play here that were gone. This happened in our own family. You don't have to name names, babe, but true or not true. We had family members that were going to move to Lehigh so that their daughter could actually participate in the thing that she now does at the collegiate level because the shutdowns were so bad. So some of it was financial, a lot of it was just bad politics and frankly just anti-Mormonism at the time, and also just anti-familyism that existed and anti-athleticism,
I mean, there will always be people that are moving to Utah and Idaho, but I think it's definitely slowed down.
Yeah, it's definitely slowed down. And they're coming back because California has some things like the entertainment industry that cannot be replicated in other states. So Diamond Dave says, can we excommunicate whoever Pauline Ikes was talking about? Sure. I don't know who Pauline Ikes was talking about, but sure.
Diamond Dave's just ready for an excommunication. He's like, wait,
Dude,
somebody say excommunication? Let's get him. I'm ready.
He's the guy that we gave the hood to that was willing to do the executions in medieval times for like whatever 50 quid they were asking for, right? Diamond Dave, hardcore. Carolyn Wright-Gaines music. Oh, Carolyn Wright-Gaines music. She just sends us a super chat full of love. Thank you very much, Carolyn Wright-Gaines music. And Fog Defense says, our girl, Michelle Stone, makes Alex Jones look like Ben Shapiro. I haven't quite done the math on that to know whether or not that's an insult or whether that's a nice thing. I would like to
Alex,
think
that's hilarious. Actually,
I would like to think that that was a nice thing that you were saying, Fog Defense, because I find her to be a lovely
Depends on your audience.
She is, at least with me, she has always been she's been consistent and integral and kind in her interactions, and she is welcome in the Ward Radio Wigwam. And we're going to foster a solid conversation with her. I happen to enjoy my relationship with Michelle Stone. So back off, Fog Defense. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, Kimberly Watson Smith, Carden, please explain, why do you continue to platform polygamy deniers? Oh, well,
There it is.
we platform anybody who's got an idea that can be articulated, in a non-abusive kind of nice, cool way. And we think that there's some interesting points brought up by these people. I myself do not espouse that camp, but like, for example, we talk about Mesoamericans versus Heartlanders. We talk about people that believe in Nauvoo polygamy versus those that don't necessarily. We talk about people who think that the scripture canon is 100% set in stone. There's other people that think, First Timothy might have been forged. What was your technical term, Jonah?
Retrospective interpolation.
Yeah, there's people that think that Second Timothy might have retrospective interpolations, that the last 7 verses in the book of Mark were forged, and that, the beloved story in the book of John of the woman taken in adultery was an addition in the 5th century, so on and so forth.
Chapter 8, totally. Look it up, people, totally.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of great conversations that can be had as long as they're done in an amicable way, and you can just be cool. Just like the movie with John Travolta said, be cool. We miss you, Riley. We miss you, cute baby.
Bye, baby.
Oh, by the way, I'm talking about the
Yeah,
baby
Ava
being
got
cute.
hungry.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm talking about the baby being cute, by the way, not cute baby Riley. Although cute baby, that's your rapper name now, Riley. So anyway, Kevin Nelson says, why do the feminists get...
Wait, say it again. Riley was muted.
Oh, I said...
No. She's talking.
Oh, whoops. I can't hear her. Your noise cancellation is too good.
Oh, she said Brittany gets to be the shadow and I have to be cute baby.
Yeah. The Phantom. What do you call... Well, it's either that or it's Octomom, because she's on her, 7th baby. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, what a weirdo. What a weirdo, Brad Riley. What's wrong with you guys?
No, here she is. No,
Jonah literally has, 7 children?
No,
Is that where you're at?
6. Don't exaggerate. 6. Come on.
No, I've got one. I've got one, because she's not smashing the patriarchy. She's helping the patriarchy. And horses. We'll call her the matriarch. That's pretty sick, right? That's like a Marvel comic book.
No, that sounds old.
The matriarchette.
She says I'll take it.
What about the babe triarch?
Oh,
the babe triarch. As long as it's said in a 1980s Bill and Ted.
It's like just chauvinistic enough,
Oh my gosh.
okay. Next super chat.
Right? Next super chat. Brittany, read the super chats.
I can't. My phone's dead.
Ah, dang it. Okay. Yeah. So Kevin Nelson says, why do the feminists get offended so easily? Look, it's not just them. It's all cultural Marxists. All cultural Marxists have figured out the cry bully tactic, and the 1-2 punch is, I'm offended. You must change. I'm offended.
Well,
and I won't be unoffended until you do exactly what I say. It's the Jersey juke, man. It's the 1-2 punch, baby.
Now, I will say, I don't think it's all that. I do think that there is some level of Mott and Bailey going on here, where there are people who are actually hurt and maybe have been mistreated by other people in a way that was sexist, right? And so they're letting this come in, and it's getting clouded by people who are doing what you're saying, Carden. But I don't think that that's everybody, right? And so I think that it's important for us to try to be able to have a dialogue with people about why they're feeling this way. Because, I mean, Riley and I, we have some friends who made some pretty harsh comments on that post, because I think they've had experiences that I don't know about yet, right? I don't think it's good for us to just say it's blanketly these are evil, feminist, angry people, right? Like we've got to be more charitable.
You forgot the blue hair. Blue.
Oh my
hair.
God!
No. Brad is right. This is the kingdom of God on the earth, but it's filled with his children. It's filled with us. And sometimes people do stupid things. And sometimes people, even bishops, even leaders, We'll do dumb things. We just do. We all do dumb things, but God set it up that way so we learn to love and forgive each other and live with each other. So, yeah, there are legitimate reasons to be angry at church leaders. Absolutely, because they're all people. We're all just people.
Maybe if we prayed to Heavenly Mother, all of our problems would go away.
Bingo.
There,
Of
I solved
course.
all your problems.
Say her name.
I don't know her name.
Say your name.
Just
Well, it's
so
probably
stupid.
Asherah, but
patriarchy.
just kidding. Right?
Horses.
No, we're not
Say
getting
her
into that
name.
right now.
Okay, so Stalin Cespedes gives DOP 250. I don't even know what DOP means. I guess that's Dominican
Dope.
dope.
Dope
It's
money.
something Dominican pesos, maybe? I'm not sure. But anyway, Stalin Cespedes says, Cardin, if you come to DR, which I assume he means the Dominican Republic or La República
No,
Dominicana.
to the doctor. He's talking about Julie Hanks.
Oh, okay.
You go to her studio.
If you come to the DR, just let me know so I can greet you. By the way, I hope they call Brad as a GA, a general authority, during
coming.
this
It's coming.
conference. It's coming. Brad, you
No,
are
guys,
so
I have a
going to
beard.
be.
Say his name. Say
I'm an
his
actor.
name.
They don't do that. Also, look at when the last Canadian general authority was in there. There aren't any.
Wait, there's
John
no...
Taylor was from Canada.
No,
Yeah.
he was from England.
Well, but he
He
settled
was-
in Canada.
He moved
settled
to
in
Canada, but he
Yeah.
repented and moved to the United States.
Brad, when you're an apostle, will you still come on Ward Radio?
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Yeah, Brad.
So
Yeah,
Riley,
Brad.
Riley
Everybody's
said,
waiting,
don't
Brad.
worry. She's too
What's-
irreverent for me to be an apostle.
What's your answer, Brad? Everyone's waiting for your answer. Will you
Yeah.
still come on?
Oh, clearly, yes. Yeah, duh.
Okay.
Obviously.
So
Thanks, Brad.
Because if
That
if
took you a
has
little long.
happened, so much has changed for this to be fine.
yeah. So, all right. So here we are. We are going. Oh, Miss Oregon 86. Miss Oregon 86. We received the records from Miss Oregon 86 into the Ward Radio Wigwam. Those that would like to welcome Miss Oregon 86, please put a W in the chat. W in the chat for Miss Oregon 86. And also Rex Good says, can I come on the JH episode and ask her to stop being my ally? That's funny. Fog Defense says, man, we got JH in the chat here. JH is part of the, I don't know what's the
Illuminati,
Lantern Corps?
probably, right?
I don't know what that is. Esteban Leal says, you guys skipped my super chat. Go back. Oh, no, we did go back.
We
Thank
got you.
Esteban.
We got you, President.
And we got it.
Then Ben Giles says, Ward Radio can be, quote, open to all ideas and discussions, but don't get butt hurt. I love that word, butt hurt. When those ideas, quotes, and actions get decimated by truth. All right, sweet. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Ben Giles. Let me see. Lizzie Cottrell gave us a buck. Thanks. Give us another buck. Sean Fletcher says, you guys are totally awesome. Just found you guys a few weeks ago and been binging since. How, not why, the Holy Ghost became a god without getting body, Kwaku, or Ward Librarian needs to be in on that convo. Oh, it is interesting that one of the members of the Godhead did not indeed receive a corporeal form. Jonah, is there any deep doctrine to that? Or is there some cool apocrypha there? Or what? 30 seconds, bro.
Well, I think it's just further evidence that Joseph Smith was the most casually revolutionary prophet ever, because if you were to ask our brothers and sisters who are Cretists and say, what does it mean what does the hypostatic union means? They would say, oh, they're all the same essence. To which you'd say, was Jesus Christ resurrected into a body of flesh? And they'd say, well, of course he was. And you'd say, does the Holy Ghost have a body? Oops. They'd go, They're not the same. They're separate personages. And Joseph Smith didn't even apologize. He just dropped that one afternoon. He was 14 years old. Oh, by the way, 2,000 years of creeds, and just blew him away.
Boom,
He's the
shakalaka.
He's the
Okay,
goat.
and by the way, there's actually something I wanted to do this at the beginning because I hate it when news organizations save it towards the end, and now I'm being a hypocrite and I'm doing it myself. But in my video today that was debunking CommentGate, I took issue as I read the comments. I was first introduced to CommentGate by the comment by one Andy Newman that I'm putting up on the screen here. Okay, where Andy Newman said, "Hey, I made a comment. They took down my comment, and it looks like he had been swept up in the fake CommentGate that was getting perpetuated by a lot of bad actors who were honestly trafficking in human misery. If there's a woman that actually thinks she is lesser and is not welcome in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or that she has somehow less access to God or to the atonement or any of that because of her status as a female. That is a horrible thing that is resoundingly debunked on this channel. Okay. But there's bad actors that traffic in that human misery, and they were trafficking in this fake comment gate thing. And so I had pulled up his quote where he had said, oh, my quote got taken down. I put it up at this time and it was taken down at that time. Okay. And I also pulled up Julie Hank's quote because she was like only the 4th or 5th comment down. And of course I subscribed to her. So she probably just showed up there because that's what the algorithms gave me. Right. And I specifically said, now that we've been able to prove that this is a platform wide problem, will we actually get a retraction from these people? And guess what? Homeboy Andy Newman, I don't even know if he saw our show. He probably doesn't even subscribe to our YouTube channel. But he said, update, looks like comments are back, and it was an IG issue, very peculiar issue and unfortunate timing for the church. Happy to see now that they weren't going that far out of their way to silence criticism. So this brother gets this episode's Intellectual Honesty Award, and Andy Newman, based on your profile, I have a feeling that there's plenty that you and I can talk about and disagree on, but I got respect for you, Broseph. I got respect for you, Broseph, because you went back out there and you said, hey, it wasn't that way. And, so I hate it when people put, or newspapers put people on blast, right? And then the retraction is like the accusations on the front page, and then the retractions on like page 14, and it's this tall. You know what I'm saying? So I'm making sure that on this show, we don't do that. I had you lined up to be at the beginning of the show, which I think would have been a better choice. I admit that was my fault. We got wrapped up in a lot of the super chats, but here I am saying, Broseph, I asked in my video if he was going to make a retraction, and I'm not saying he made a retraction because of our video. I don't even know if he saw our video, but I give the dude credit where credit is due. He did indeed say it looks like it was a platform-wide issue and dropped it. And I got to tell you, our conversation would not be so toxic if people had that level of intellectual honesty. I dig it. You have my respect. Andy Newman says he's a licensed therapist and Exmo discussing faith deconstruction and sharing my own opinions and helping those deconstructing find healing. You know what, bro? Let's come on. And Julie Hanks, I've actually wanted to have a solid talk on scrupulosity with some people here. We've never been able to get around it because I have to, debunk so many straw men on the way to that conversation. But anyway, Andy Newman, you're welcome to come on the show.
But it is a real thing that people need to watch out for, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've wanted to actually have a really solid discussion on that for a while, but I've always been overshadowed by these weird little stupid scandals where like, they're not leaving comments! So anyway,
yeah.
Any last words before we go?
Are we all caught up on super chats?
We're all caught up on super chats.
Okay, cool.
One person, Lizzie Cottrell, said that she did a super chat, but her words weren't attached. And so I'm going to read what she said. She said, I want to serve another mission, and I want Cardin to be my mission president.
Oh! Hey, have you guys had that dream that you got sent back on your mission?
No, because I never served one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've had that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You've had that dream.
Riley is nodding.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you had that dream where like, oh, we didn't receive records of your mission. Sorry, you got to go back out and you got to reserve again. And like you've had that dream where you had to do that?
Not because of that, but I've
had that about both.
Like I was going again. Yeah.
I have had that about both college and my mission, and I want some dream analyst to tell me what it means because there's different variations of it. It's not the same every time, but I've had to serve my mission again, and I've had to go back to college because like they lost my transcripts or something like that again, and they're mortifying dreams.
You're probably remembering just a past life and your past experiences.
That's true. And we got a couple last
or an
super chats.
alternate reality.
Yes.
There's a couple more with Mary Lou.
Okay, hit it.
Should I get that one?
Yes.
She's proving me wrong. I guess Hugh B. Brown and N. Eldon Tanner were both Canadians.
Oh,
Oh,
there
Dang
you go.
it.
Wow. Hey, Brad,
And
there's
then-
room for you.
No. Now, Latter-day Chad, he says, he talking about Yahweh and Eliad? Yes, good.
Oh, and
That'll
then,
be an interesting discussion.
And
We're
Carolyn-
going to be...
oh, I'm sorry. Go, Brad.
Oh, go ahead. Garden, you got one.
Oh, I was just going to say, Carolyn Reichgade's music says, fake feminist, please stop whining, crying, and blaming. Be happy, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. We are so blessed to be women. I say this from a woman who works in a male-dominated field. Stop complaining, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. There's a lot of exclamation marks in there and a lot of truth. And let me tell you, this girl can lay tile and throw up drywall with the best of them, and has built myriad homes in
that's
Idaho.
right. That's Carolyn, huh?
Yeah, Carolyn Reichgade's music. She's speaking
that's awesome.
from a
She's
place
no
of
joke.
authority, baby. So, yes.
So there's actually one last gift I'd like to give to the Relief Society tonight. Here at the end, for those of you who've stayed through the whole stream, please like the stream. And here's the last gift we give to the Relief Society. This has to do a little bit with the Apocrypha, okay? In the creation of the world, okay, in the order that traditional Genesis gives us, Adam is created, and then he names all the animals, all the fauna, right? The Lord brings him all the fauna, the beasts, and he names them all. In Egyptian and ancient Gnostic writings, that's a big deal. Naming the animals was bringing them through the veil into existence, or something about naming and bringing them through the veil. Adam was helping to create these animals, right? But in the Book of Mormon, if you read it very carefully in 2 Nephi chapter 2, and in the 5th chapter of the Book of Abraham, Eve is with Adam when he does it, because Adam doesn't have creative priesthood power without his wife. Now that's in our doctrine. That's something that traditional Genesis misses, but Joseph Smith restored. He didn't even know he did. But in the Book of Abraham and the Book of Mormon, Adam cannot help create things until he has his wife, because no man is complete without the woman, and no priesthood is complete without the queen. There you go. There's your last gift, Relief Society.
Okay, rock on.
Thank you, Jonah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Are you the Relief Society president of the ward?
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, go, Brad.
Now, we have a couple more super chats. We got Liberty Lady 208. Thank you for the super chat. Polly Nike's 2000. Question, Cardin. I'm reading what he's saying.
He goes hard in the paint.
I don't endorse
What is
this.
it? If it's not
says,
appropriate,
Cardin,
don't read it.
Who gets to issue Julie Hanks's fatwa?
No, bro.
Polly Nike's
No, dog.
no.
That's why I erased that comment. We're not making fatwa jokes, all right? You know what I'm saying? That's why I erased that comment.
Such a good
you
joke.
erased it.
We're
It
not.
was a funny joke. He's clearly not serious. Now,
Yes,
Latter-day
I know.
Chad. Collaboration
I'm not
with
getting
Ancient
clipped
Answers
reading
when?
that. I'm not getting clipped reading that, dog.
I know. I'm getting clipped reading it.
The Mormon version of that is tracking someone down and giving them cookies. That's the Mormon version of FATWA.
A Mormon fatwa?
Yeah.
Hey, wait. Fatwa does
That's
mean
funny.
finding apostates and treating them with awesome homemade baked goods.
Oh, brilliant.
Whoa.
Brilliant, Cardin.
There's a lot of hyphenation going on in there, but yeah.
Is that the acronym for a Mormon fatwa? You know what I'm saying? Baked
Perfect.
goods! Baked goods! Okay.
Sorry,
keep going.
Cardin. Sorry for reading that one. I thought we hadn't gotten to that one yet.
No, I had
Latter-day Chad.
I had erased it before we got to it, and I was skipping over it, and I was gonna just tell Polly Nikes later, I skipped your chat, bro. But now it's all freaking everywhere. But anyway, keep going.
I know. I'm sorry. Now, Latter-day Chad. Collaboration with Ancient Answers when? Ooh, I don't know who Ancient Answers is.
Yeah, somebody reached out to me, and there's Ancient Answers is, if I remember this correctly, is the funny account that had taken and animated the Tucker Carlson with Roseanne Barr.
Yeah. He's done a couple things like that.
That we've showed. He doesn't have a huge following, but apparently the guy's doing work online, and apparently he's got a good sense of humor, and somebody knows him that has reached out. And I think they reached out via the website. And yes, I would get him on. I'd talk to him. He seems like a funny dude. So let's try and make that happen, Jonah. Next super chat. Let's finish these up, and then we got to go.
Okay, next up, we got Sean Fletcher saying, I wrote that previous comment without proofreading, just letting us know. And then another Sean Fletcher saying, you rock.
Punk rock.
Now, down a little bit further, we got to Snagrid. Says, I've got scrupulosity if you want to chat.
All right, sick. Let's do it, dog.
That'd be super interesting. Someone who's actually dealing with it.
And then somebody corrects me, says Cardin. It's myriad OFFYO, myriad of. No, isn't it like, no, not like data, because that's singular. No, that's Greek based. But you'd say, I have seen myriad films, or is it myriad of films? I thought it was myriad. Help me out. You're the author. Where do we go wrong here, Brad?
Oh, what was your sentence?
I think you should just not use the word myriad, and there we go. We solved it.
Is it I have seen myriad I've read myriad puff pieces on Kamala Harris in CNN, or I've read myriad of puff pieces about Kamala
I think
Harris.
a myriad of is going to be safe, but I'm Shakespearean enough to think you can just say myriad puff pieces and be fine.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm a descriptivist.
Yes. Jason Gass says,
I think you're fine.
Jason Gass says, Leroy Jenkins. Some good old school internet humor right there. And
oh yeah,
I think we're all caught up on super chats, right?
Carolyn Wright Gaines Music said she did a second one that I think we missed. So if you can search that in some way.
I thought we read
oh wait,
both.
I think maybe I can.
Okay, I'm looking it up. I didn't see her second one. If you just write Carolyn Wright Gaines Music, just write in to the chats right now before we go. Your what you were saying in your super chat, then we will we'll read it. Just write it as a regular comment, and we'll be looking for that because we got to go. Polly Nikes 2000 says, "Sorry, bud, didn't mean to cause any trouble." That's fine. That's fine. We handled it. Brad handled it. You know what I'm saying? And then let me see. Snagger says, my scroop was much more worse during my mission.
Worries,
when I got
Polly.
home. It's much more in check now. That's funny. So, and Fidget the Crazy says,
oh,
I had
Carolyn
one that
Wright
got missed.
Gaines Music said we got it.
Oh, you already read it. Okay. And Fidget, same thing goes for you. If we missed a super chat, I totally apologize. Put it in the comments right here. As I'm doing my outro, we'll read it if it comes up, but they're like 30 seconds behind if we can get to it. So anyway, thank you very much for everybody that has participated. Thank you very much for your super chat. Fog Defense says you missed two of mine. Ah, dang it, man. Sorry. I guess
I need a phone charger.
We got to get that app though that also puts them into the app that puts them into an Excel spreadsheet, so that when you get super chats, there's a plug-in where it goes into an Excel spreadsheet, so you can read through them really fast. I'm gonna
maybe our Relief Society president should try charging her phone, huh? How about that?
Look, I'm just a woman.
Wait, there's a good one. Minor Prophet Ian Malcolm got it back in here.
Okay, what do you say?
I love this one. This one's cool. He says, "Women are the power behind the throne. Women are the throne. Ask the Egyptians." And he's referencing something super cool in like Egyptian symbology. You'll often have a woman like behind the man who's in power, and she like literally represents the throne of his power. Like he would have no power without her, right?
That's right.
So there's some really interesting symbolism in there. And with how like Egyptian influenced a lot of the Book of Mormon writers were, I wonder if they shared any of that thought process, you know.
And
that reminded me of Miss Congeniality. Have you guys seen that movie with Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Where he's like, "You
Oh,
are
yeah.
the crown, be the crown." That's what that reminded me of.
Rock on.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, actually, Fidget got back to us and literally says, it was me saying the priesthood is a masculine protector role. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of wisdom to a lot of this ancient symbology of yin and yang and vulnerability versus aggression, independence versus dependence. There's this beautiful, as Kwaku calls it sometimes, the twin flame, so on and so forth. There's some really, really beautiful symbolism that is shared by all of these ancient faiths that I think we cannot overlook. Oftentimes we think that society nowadays is peak humanity, and in some ways it is, but in some ways it definitely is not. And this may be one of the things where we have to learn from the wisdom of the ancients, right?
Yeah, we need the masculine to protect the feminine.
Yes.
So that we're able to grow in our femininity.
Wait, repeat that bit?
We need the masculine to protect the feminine so that we're able to grow in our femininity.
Boom shakalaka.
Doesn't that sound so smart?
Interesting.
I just like pull that out. Like,
Well, would it
man,
Brilliant.
jeez.
Brilliant. That was brilliant.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
would it
This
help?
Relief Society
No,
power is just like, whoa, it's working real fast.
And Brittany, do you know what it makes me think of is something that I've heard cited relatively often is that even in societies where men and women have like maximized ability to choose whatever they want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
You end up with women picking more traditionally feminine roles and men picking more traditionally masculine roles, even when they're not being pressured either way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. And I see this in my kids. Like, I don't know what to do with it. Like my daughter, Ollie, loves dolls and playing make-believe with them, like immediately picks up a baby and it's a baby that she's taken care of. And like, she just does that. And then my son, Isaac, grabs a sword and challenges that baby to a fight and is like, die monster. Like, I don't know why they're this way, but it's, there's these fascinating differences that I think are kind of baked in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That I think it would be good for us to recognize a little bit more as a society.
Yeah.
Also,
Brad-
I skipped a super chat. Kevin Nelson says, my wife, Callie or Kaylee, is amazing. She just popped out number 8.
Dang.
Holy smoke. Jonah, it's a race, bro. You're underperforming, dog. You're underperforming. You got to go share that
fine.
toothbrush,
It's
bro.
on. I'll be right back.
No.
Give me
That
9
was
months
awesome.
and 1 hour. And
Oh my gosh.
I'm just joking.
That's hilarious. You're laughing at that.
No.
It's a girl-approved joke. You can't cancel us. That's a girl-approved joke.
No, that was funny. That was funny.
Hey,
That's
I was
funny.
just going to ask Brad, looking at those beautiful children of yours, those beautiful daughters of yours, do you want them to grow up in the church and be members of the Relief Society? I mean, obviously you love your daughters, right? Or do you harbor
Let me
this
have Riley answer
masculine... Oh, great. Have Riley answer.
The baby is sleeping now.
Oh,
I don't have a very profound answer other than yes, I want them to be wonderful, well-adjusted, service-oriented relief providers. Yes.
We
Great
don't
answer.
really care if your answer's profound. We just care that you're beautiful and we could put you on the thumbnail. So, no.
How about this? Is that good?
Have you ever seen the movie Beat the Devil? By it was one of those BMW films they made in the early 2000s, and it was directed by Tony Scott. It's hilarious. There's a moment where James Brown, when he was still alive, he goes and he sticks his head in the face of the devil's like little porthole little viewer thing. He goes like, my face, you know. And it was pretty funny. You did the James Brown face. It was pretty
Great.
good. You know?
Wonderful. I love that.
Best compliment you
Have to go
got
watch
all
that.
week.
Think that's me.
Best compliment you got all week,
All
right?
right.
You look just
Well,
like James Brown.
So
This
no.
has been
Thank you,
real and
Courtney.
it's been fun.
Yeah, so we're shutting it down, guys. We're shutting it down before I tank any harder. You know what I'm saying? Thank you very much for everybody that gave your super chat. Before you go, if you are not participating yet in the Discord, shout out to the mods in this Discord. Jonah, are they not awesome and amazing?
Our moderators are amazing. They're overworked and underpaid.
Yes, exactly. But it is a fun place. The Discord's a fun place. Brad's there. Kwaku, he does lurk. He does lurk. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in there as often
I
as
mostly
I can.
lurk too.
I'm a total lurker. I don't know how to work Discord, but I just go in and try to read stuff and then I get out because
It's super fun. I'm in there. I'm in there. Not as much. I'm looking a lot more, and I analyze a lot of the ideas, and also sometimes I do A/B tests for thumbnails, and I talk to the people in the foyer. It's pretty fun. But I absolutely love participating in the Discord. It's a super fun place. If you haven't signed up for our newsletter yet, we're going to be trying to actually issue out hard news. I've been teaming up with some writers and some producers and things like that. We're going to start giving out that newsletter as promised. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. If you haven't liked the stream yet, please make sure you like the stream, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please let this be the moment that we earn your subscription. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. Do you have anything to say, Brad and Riley or Jonah, before we go?
I just want to say at the very end of this, when we're talking about the Relief Society, I think it's an incredible organization. I think that it does so much good for the world. I think it does so much good for women. And I think that if we can view power in the way that Jesus Christ wants us to, it will solve the vast majority of the issues that we're seeing here. And I'm saying that for both women and for men, right? So that's kind of my closing remarks on that issue we addressed today.
Brad Whitbeck,
I
Apostle
testify that what my
2025.
companion said is true.
I have one more comment and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah, what?
I think the only thing offensive in that Instagram post was the picture that they chose. There, I said it.
Oh.
Did not like that picture.
Oh, you weren't a fan of the art?
No, was not a fan of the art. Sorry to the artist. Did not like it.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Brutal.
The artist actually commented a really touching thing in the comments. You can go leave your review
I'm
right
sure
there.
she's a great person. Or
Actually, the
he,
artist
whoever.
is here in the chat, and she's crying and questioning all her life decisions, and you've crushed her.
Sorry.
Oh, brutal. I thought I was the savage one.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I married well.
Hey, the last thing that I was going to say is the world has lots of problems outside here in our little isolated Western world. There's big problems out in the rest of the world. They don't educate women. They don't let women have a say in things. And that's why their societies are hyper-masculine and a complete mess. And the world needs more femininity. It needs more empowered women. And that's why it needs the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because our women are the best. And so I hope that all these horrible places in the world that have so many problems get the church, because the church will bring the women, and then you get the money, and then you get the power.
Okay, well, speaking of the importance of women out there, we've had 5 super chats, 5 memberships donated. Thank you very much. We got a donor, Janine, gifted 5 Ward Radio memberships, and one of the new people said something hilarious. Please have your wife influence you to fix the crooked frames behind you, Jonah Barnes, Ward Librarian.
Oh, no.
Apparently you've got some crooked picture frames behind you, and you're getting called out, bro.
Oh,
for
shoot. She's gonna watch
disorganized
this.
yin and no yang.
Oh, no.
All right, brutal. So anyway,
Oh,
thank
thanks.
you, everybody. It's been real and it's been fun. You guys hang out for the minute outro. We'll talk after, but it's been real and it's been fun and it's been real fun. As always, for this and more, please make sure that you check us out at wardradio.com.
I built a rocket in my basement. I'm gonna fly it to the moon. This supersonic is amazing. You're gonna feel my sonic boom. I'm flying higher and I'm never coming down. Look at me now.